Welcome back to the AM Nutrition channel. Today we're going to talk about the morning madness. So what does your morning usually look like, Debbie?
Honestly, my morning, I'm that person I only give myself like a certain amount of time. So like maybe 30 minutes. So my breakfast needs to be quick. That's one thing I will say. But yeah, not a lot of time in the mornings for me.
I'm definitely a quick breakfast person too. So breakfast is one of the most important meals of the day. Some of us don't really get the time, some of us are not really that hungry, and some of us can be picky with our food. So good news, we've come up with some quick and easy breakfast ideas for you that are really quick, so probably under 5 minutes or 5 minutes. So try out some of our recipes and let us know what you think about it.
All right, so we're gonna go for a race for time breakfast. If you are, looking for an easy and quick one, we've got one that's sweet and then we've got one that's savory. So let's get into what the contents are and what they specifically do. So we have here 2 Ezekiel breads. They are made with 6 different types of grains, so really nutritionally dense. And they do provide a lot of fiber. One slice of that gives you about 5 grams of protein as well. So let's start out with the sweet bread.
All right. Okay, so here we go. So we are, I just need my tablespoon. Yes. Okay, perfect. All right, so I got my almond butter. I'm gonna try to get that out real quick. So I'm trying to do a tablespoon. All right, so here we got that. Pour it here, so I'm just gonna pour it on.
You can always mix and match your nut butters. Different nut butters give you different types of vitamins and healthy fats. So if vitamin K, potassium, and then your monounsaturated, polyunsaturated. So
it's all right. Sometimes almond butter is hard to spread.
This is as real as it can get.
I'm dead. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try to tighten it up a little bit. It really is good. It doesn't spread the best sometimes, but it really is good. Okay. Not about perfection. Okay.
It's all about getting a nutrient-dense breakfast. All right, and so on top of your nut butter, you can go ahead and add on some bananas.
Okay. I'm just gonna chop with my knife that I already have. Oh. They like to roll, I guess. Okay. And just a little bit more. I dropped it. Okay, so we're gonna put that on top.
So we talked about how to portion your plates. A quarter of your plate, your starches, a quarter of it protein, and half of your plate, your fruit. So for breakfast, it's kind of hard to make your plates. So at least incorporating a type of protein, a type of fruit, and a type of starch. And then sprinkle on some chia seed. That would be your healthy fat in addition to the nut butter. And then if you want to be a little fancy, you can add some honey to it as well. And there you go. And if you look at the time, that took about 2 minutes, and that was including us being clumsy. So this is a quick and easy breakfast for you to have. All right, so on the days you don't feel like having a sweet breakfast and you want to have a savory one, we have something ready for you. So continuing from our last toast, let's get into using the same Ezekiel bread with the 5 grams of fiber, protein, and using it with some tahini sauce.
Got our tahini right here, so I'm gonna just measure that out real quick. All right, we got 1. Okay, so this is actually sesame seeds that they've put together to make kind of like a butter, like you were doing almond butter or something like that. So, yep, it comes from sesame seeds.
It is a huge part of Mediterranean foods. So if you like hummus, if you do like meat skewers, they usually give this as a dip, or it is part of the cooking process. So spread that out and then add on either half of it, you can do half of it with tomatoes and then half of it with cucumbers.
Definitely, so I'm just gonna cut up our tomato real quick. So I'm just gonna cut enough to put on the toast since we're kind of in a rush. Okay. So I'm actually gonna just go a little half and half. Kind of cute.
That's a good idea.
There here we go.
All right. If you want a little bit more flavor, go ahead and add some garlic salt.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yeah, a little garlic salt. Grated garlic powder is what we call it.
And then a pinch of pepper.
Okay.
So this, just like the other toast, gives you a good amount of protein. 2 tablespoons of the tahini gives you about 8 grams of protein. So if you want to mix and match your palate, mix and match your minerals and nutrition coming up, I would always say try and find different types of food, different food groups that you can enjoy. Plus, it's good to have a variety. Like, life is too boring to not choose. So with 2 toasts that we made, that was under about 3 minutes. So you can easily make both of these toasts for under 5 minutes for your breakfast. So now you can try this out and let us know on our video what else you would like for us to try. All right, so let's get into our next recipe. This is something you can prepare overnight, so they're called overnight oats. So we're just gonna use half a cup of oats, then add in some milk, so almond milk, cashew milk, soy milk, any milk that you wanna try more nutritionally dense milks or nutritionally dense foods. Like I said, packing your breakfast with nutritionally dense ingredients comes into handy because they contain fiber, protein, healthy fats, all of which would help with satiety and your hunger, and then keeping your mood up throughout the day, especially if you have long hours at work.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we get our almond milk. Just gonna pour that in. So we've got our equal parts oats and then our milk. Pour that in. All right, got that.
And then make sure you soak it really well and then leave it in the refrigerator overnight. If you don't have time overnight and you want to make it during the day, make sure that you leave it in the refrigerator for at least 5 hours. We did this the previous night, so we have that ready. And then let's go in and prep that.
Okay, so we've got our Greek yogurt, lots of protein in here. I'm just gonna grab this here. So got it kind of like a big spoonful, gonna be perfect. We're just gonna kind of put that on top. I think I'm just gonna layer it, honestly, because we want to put some fruit on top.
You can mix that in as well as you prefer the texture. 3/4 of that yogurt cup has about 17 grams of protein. So make sure that you're looking at the nutrition labels as well, which is really important. You can see total sugars. Make sure that even though some yogurts can say that they're low fat, they could still be filled with sugars. So make sure that you're checking your nutrition label, keeping it under 5 grams and below would be good. And then making sure that it also has a good amount of protein. So 0% Greek yogurt, 000. And then make sure that whenever it's flavored yogurt, that also means sugar, make sure that you are checking your nutrition label again.
Okay. So we're gonna do some berries on top. So we're just gonna chop a little bit. Real quick. All right. I think I'll take another berry. Just kind of do that.
So again, we're trying to pair our carbs, which is our oat, with some type of protein. Here we used yogurt and the almond milk, and we're also going to use another ingredient we'll come to. And then we're trying to add some fruit. So go ahead and add as many fruits as you like, whether it's strawberries, whether it's apple, whether it's pears, whatever you prefer. Just choose 1 or 2 of your choice. That way you're at least making sure that you get your fruit intake for the day. Because it's easier to get your vegetable intake because you can get it in your salad, your sandwiches, but it's harder to get your fruit. So have it as a snack or have it for breakfast. And then once we're done with that, sprinkle on some peanut butter. Again, another protein source.
Okay.
And then you can go ahead and throw in some chia seeds if you prefer that, or if not, just go ahead and have it as it is. It's just another way of having another nutrient-dense breakfast. So now that took about 3 minutes or a little over 3 minutes. So again, another under 5-minute breakfast idea for you. All right, so let's get into our next recipe. This would be a protein smoothie. So any day you don't feel like having a solid food, you just want to sip and go. Let's try a protein smoothie that's pretty simple. So let's get right into it.
All right, okay, what should we do first? What ingredient? What do you think?
So let's start off with the 1/4 cup of oats.
Okay, all right, so we got our 1/4 cup of oats.
Okay.
All right, and then what should we use next?
Let's do the yogurt. So we used up a 1/4 cup of the oats, and then we're gonna use 1/3 cup of yogurt just to give it some protein. Oats are also filled with fiber, so that's gonna help with how you feel after breakfast.
We'll clean that up later.
And then go ahead and pick a selection of your frozen fruits. It can be mixed berries, it can be frozen pineapple and mango. So anything that you prefer, go ahead and drop that in as well.
Alright, very tricky. Almost there. Alright.
All right, once we're done with that, you could drizzle on some peanut butter just to give it a little bit more protein and add a little bit of a creamy texture.
Should we do more like this?
Yeah, you can do a little bit more. And add about 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of milk, depending on how many fruits you've used and how much you've used for your oatmeal. You don't want it getting too thick that you're not able to enjoy it. So let's go ahead and blend this.
Okay.
So now that we've blended our smoothie, let's pour that into a cup.
Here we go.
That's a really pretty color. All right, so you can always mix and match your fruits. You can add your bananas. You can even go ahead and add your protein powders to it if you feel like you did not get your protein, especially if you're trying to gain muscle mass and you're working out. You can go ahead and add more fruits to it, add some nuts to it, even some chia seeds. Just another way for you to have a quick and easy breakfast. And that was under 5 minutes also. Let's get into our next breakfast idea. This is another overnight recipe you can make that would be under 5 minutes. So this would be a chia seed almond butter pudding. So let's get started. For this, you would need about a tablespoon of chia seed.
Pour that in.
Try and use serving bowl. So this would be a serving. And then let's pour in some milk. Here we're choosing almond milk. And then you want to make sure that you soak the chia seeds really well so that it's not floating around on the top. Chia seeds tend to absorb and take in the moisture. So when you do leave it overnight in a refrigerator, they tend to swell up, giving it the pudding texture. After you've done with the stirring, go ahead and add a tablespoon of peanut butter. This is going to be a healthy fat, protein-rich pudding. Again, we're also going to try and mix and match some of our fruits. So go ahead and mix that up till you reach a consistency you like. And so the more chia seed you add, the less milk you add, the more protein, peanut butter you add, the thicker the consistency. And once you leave this overnight, this is gonna turn into, like I said, a thicker texture, giving it a pudding feel. And then to top it off, you can go ahead and add some bananas to it. can add, again, any fruit you like. The ones I usually use are apples, bananas, pears, blackberries, strawberries, just a different variety.
So you go for the whole banana or
You could go for the whole, you could go for half. I would say just try to at least have half a banana. And then drizzle on some honey, store it in the refrigerator for about 5 hours or so. It is better to make them overnight, I would say, just so you have more time for it to thicken. And then once you're done and you've taken out of the refrigerator, go ahead and fancy it up as you please. You can go ahead and add crushed almonds, walnuts, pecans, just to add a little bit more fiber, protein, and healthy fat. There you go, another under 5 minutes. So this took about 2 minutes. So there's another one for you to try.